What's up, people? Yesterday, wesleyso completely outplayed Gukesh in the Armageddon, more in a tactical style. And today, he outplayed Gamer in a more positional style, because Gamer select the close line of the Spanish, a5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Here, wesleyso used to play the Berlin defense with knight f3, knight f6, sorry. But in the classical game, Gamer plays d3, and okay, the game ended in a draw. But for this game, wesleyso prefers to go for a marshal. Bishop h5, 1 second that I should here. Bishop a4, knight f6, short castle, bishop e7. And here rook e1 is the main move, but okay, he wants to avoid the marshal, I suppose. And for that reason, Vincent Keimer played d3, going for a more positional game. b5, bishop b3, and here you can play your short castle or d6, but I prefer d6. This is more, I prefer this move, I always analyze that. And here, white have like three main moves are or a4, a3, or c3. Okay, with a4 the idea is like just threatening here, and black should defend the threat, or with b4. b4 is a possibility. Rook b8 is another option. Bishop d7 is I think my favorite move, or bishop b7. Black have many possibilities here to defend the pawn. I don't recommend bishop b7 because in this pawn extractor with the pawn on c3, this bishop is not good place on b7. Just if you can play d5, sorry, to break the position. But once you make d6, d5 is going to game into tempo. So in this exactly position, I not recommend to place the bishop on b7. But okay, the idea of a4 is attack there, and the idea behind a3 is just you are giving this a2 square for the bishop in case of some knight a5s. But Vincent Gamer played c3 is not my favorite move here, because I think that the black play is very easy. Okay, white play is more or less logical too, but I think that this is fine for black. Short castle. Here rook e1 is the main move, after who knight a5 is coming. Bishop c2, c5, and knight c6 again. Knight f1, bishop e6, knight g3, queen c7. Black is just developing normal the pieces. h3, rook a d8, queen e2, h6, and finally d5 is coming. So that's the black typical plan, placing well all his pieces and just break with d5. But Gamer goes for h3. h3 is interesting because here the move knight a5 is not the best according to the machine. Because after bishop c2 d5, here white have this extra option of d4. Instead of develop the piece, normally just go for d4 first, using the fact that the knight is misplaced on a5. So d4, very good move. And now the best response is d5, challenging the center. And white should or take on e5 with the knight or with the pawn. For example, if d takes, now it's black the guy who take with the knight. All the time with black we're going to change to take with the opposite piece. For example, if white take with the pawn, here typical response, knight takes e4. Knight bd, bishop f5, and the position is more or less equal. But white is putting some pressure. Or if knight takes e5, we're going to take with the different piece, with the pawn. Bishop e3, bishop b7, and okay, the position is more or less equal, but d4 is the better way to try to take advantage with white. But Vincent Gamer wants a quiet position. And to show here another options, instead of knight a5, you can play h6, normal move, or bishop b7. Just waiting and playing c5 here, being ready against d4. But okay, knight a5 is playable, of course, e5, but here d4 is the best move to push. Gamer wanted a more quiet game with rook e1. Now, so playing knight c6, which is normal, trying, yes, because the knight is misplaced on a5, but rook e8 was slightly better to play against d4. Okay, knight c6, again, d4 here was the best move. Takes, but here d4 was stronger, that's why here I recommend d5. Because after knight c6, d4 takes, knight b4, for example, and white can just give the bishop pair, but he have two pawns in the center who compensate, of course, the bishop pair, and a very good knight here. So bishop b7, and yes, white is fine. So, but Vincent Gamer, instead of play d4 like he should make, he is still moving the knight and trying to make the natural plans. But that's why I don't like c3. That if you want to play c3, it's okay, but you should break with d4 early. Play c3 just to make the typical plan of knight d2, knight f1, knight g3. I think that this is better for black, or at least equal and easier to play. Knight d2, just black develops normal the pieces. Here a4 is interesting. Knight f1, h6. Of course, the idea is play bishop b6, avoiding knight g5 ideas. Knight g3, bishop b6. And here, knight a2 is the main move of the position, played by Vincent Keimer, but this is not good. d4 is a better option. There are many games of masters. In what's two victories, of one of Matlakov and the other one of Ponomaryov. Here you should trade everything and play rook c8, bishop b3 and d5. Here Predke plays e takes d5 against Matlakov, and after knight takes knight d4. Here knight b4 entering in the endgame is completely winning for black. And Ilyas Mirin against Ponomaryov played e5. Okay, the position is more or less equal, but black is completely fine, of course. But knight a2, who is the typical move in this position, is not good. Here, wesleyso responded with the normal move. We place it all our pieces in the center, perfectly placed, and he goes back with the knight. So it's very typical that when our opponent goes back with the knight, we should break the center. So wesleyso made the normal move here, d5, but there is a stronger move. Instead of d5 is fine, but here we have a5, a great move, trying to take spatial advantage in the queen side. Later we're going to break on d5, but first we're going to secure all the spatial advantage in the queen side. And during this time we are seeing what black is going to do. But for example, if knight g4, following the plan of knight a2, who is a logical move, here can be responded with knight takes and a4, followed by bishop g5, taking all the control of the dark squares. And later d5 one day is going to come and black is better. For example, bishop b3 is one of the best responses. Now we can just still take in space with a4 and we are better here. Or if queen f3, who could be an idea of knight a2, just a4, taking as much space as possible in the queen side, and later bishop f8 and d5. But the position is that the pawn structure is symmetrical in the center. Both players have 8 pawns, so the spatial advantage in the closed position used to be more important than in open positions. Okay, knight h4 by Vincent Keimer, and okay, wesleyso responded with d5, who is the natural breakthrough. And here white should take on d5 because you can allow black to play d4. Keimer played queen f3, who is a bad move, and now d4. And this pawn structure is black advantage because black have just all his pieces well, his both bishops open, aiming both sides, the knight as well, and white have this very bad bishop on c2, and black just have more spatial advantage. So yeah, black is just better in this position. I won many games in this pawn structure, especially more in the Italian than in the Spanish. In the Spanish, I won some, but more in the Italian. When my opponent played with bishop b3, c3, bishop c2, I always push c5. And if he let me the opportunity, d4. And fixing all the space and reaching a very good position. wesleyso give his opportunity, I think his opponent another opportunity of take on d5. But again, he missed, he doesn't play that. And he played knight f5. And finally, wesleyso take advantage of the opportunity, playing d4. Important move, taking all the space in the center and reaching a very good position. Bishop d2. Here again, a5 was the better option, just taking a space in the queen side. Okay, he played king h7, who is logic too. And here, Vincent Keimer played a4, who is not the move, because after d takes, good move, d takes, and b4, now black is creating a pass pawn in the b file and a hole on d4, so have no sense for white to play like that. Create a pass pawn on the b file and a hole on d4 have no really sense. Here for white was, for example, c takes d4 was fine because it's not easy for black to respond. Sometimes e takes d4 is interesting, but now white have this move, knight g4. If it wasn't for because knight g2, e takes d4 was the best, but knight g4 is a little bit annoying. Knight takes, you are trading pieces, so with more space we didn't want to do that. C takes, okay, rook is c1, and at this way have this file. So that's why bishop takes f5 is the most important move. Queen takes, and king g8, very hard. Later, knight here is coming, and knight c2 attacking both rooks. So this was very interesting. Or knight g4 here was the other normal move. But a4 is horrible, because after that wesleyso won very easy, but this was a very easy game of wesleyso. He just plays well the pieces, he break on d5 in the correct moment, later he puts d4, who is what you should do. You're going to win many games just making that, and later we should play in the queen side. This time, okay, a5 here was the best option. This time Gamer put him the task easier, playing the bad move a4 just, and yes, black is winning. Both bishops are aiming to the queen side. The c2 bishop, let's see that is completely bad. And black have no attack in the king side. b8, just trading pieces and taking the d4 square, like I said. And now let's see the difference between the bishops. And the c2 bishop is completely dead, and the e6 and f8 bishops are very, very good. Queen g5, and both bishops are attacking there, and there, defending here. And this bishop is horrible, added to the open b file. Queen here, just queen g5, and Gamer sacrifice a piece, but doesn't work. So yes, very good game by wesleyso, who takes his second Armageddon in a row. In the previous one he beat, I don't remember now, he beat Prague, I think in the, no, sorry, he beat gukesh in the previous Armageddon. I analyzed the game in the channel. So let's see if wesleyso finally wins a classical game instead of only draws and wins the Armageddons. Bye bye.